Hello, thanks for joining us. I hope you're having a great conference today for the virtual collaboration experience. In this next session, myself, Johnathan Owen from Wolfvision UK, I'm going to be talking to Thomas Zangerle, who's our product manager based in Austria. This session is just to give you guys an insight into Wolfvision, and this session we'll be talking to Thomas, who can tell us more about his role. So
Hello.
Thomas, thanks for joining us.
Hello, and also welcome from my side.
Great. So we're going to kick off in some questions. So Thomas, so can you tell us what a typical day looks like for you in Austria?
Yes. As Johnathan already mentioned, I'm an innovation and product manager at Wolfvision. And as a product manager, I'm responsible for the visualizer product range and the management software vSolution Link Pro. And together with my colleague Andreas, he's taking care about Synap family. As a product manager, we are taking care together about innovation. In my job, it's all about communication, as we are an interface between R&D, sales, partners, and our customers. And that means translating from customer pains into needs and technical requirements and specs is a crucial and daily task for us. So a typical day starts with various dailies that we do with different development teams. Agile development and Scrum elements changed the way we work together years ago. After the dailies, we normally run individual meetings to discuss user stories, new features, support sales and partners. In PM, you're also involved in testing new features, if they were implemented according to the user story, for instance. We also have a lot of contact with our customers on various channels, no matter if this is via email, phone, or a Zoom call, for instance. And I also normally try to squeeze in something new every day. Not that easy, but otherwise it's a mission impossible taking care about innovation.
Great, that's great. Thanks, Thomas. So how did Wolfvision become a market leader in visualizer technology? Where did Wolfvision's story begin?
Our founder, Joseph Wolf, started mid of the 60s of the former century as a AV dealer here in Austria. He was the kind of entrepreneur that could identify an opportunity. And one of those opportunities he see was the starting age of projectors. Those projectors gave customers, his customers, especially in the field of education, new possibilities, but that was not really a product fulfilling the new need for it. So people were using overhead projectors, acetates, slides to share, prepare content. With the projectors, at that time they were big and bulky tube projectors, more ambitious presenters wanted to use the full scale of options. So Joseph was experimenting with cameras, and he found out that it requires a lot to deliver outstanding image quality. In the 70s, he demonstrated then his first prototype to a customer called Videolupe in German, or video magnifier when you would translate it into English. And this was the starting point for the visualizer and Wolfvision as the company that we know today. I believe one of the main reasons for our success is our close contact to customers around the world since the beginning. So that means this is part of our DNA, as you can see from our history. And the other aspect is our size. We are a small family-owned company and can be quick if we see the need for it. And today, modern working styles like Scrum and Agile development processes ensure that we carefully listen to our customers, and we are also able to react within an appropriate time frame.
Great. So, so a little bit about me to flip it over slightly. So I joined Wolfvision back in January of this year. Prior to that, I was a Wolfvision customer for over 15 years. So Thomas and I have known each other for quite some years in terms of that customer interaction process. So obviously education is my background. That's the area I know the most about, and obviously Wolfvision is very strong in that sector. But can you give us an insight into the other areas and sectors and markets that Wolfvision are very strong?
As you have heard before, a really important vertical market is since the beginning education, with leading universities around the world as customers and most important drivers for the development of our products. So improving learning by offering tools and solutions for better communication makes this market crucial for us, no matter if we are talking about other areas of education, like in the medical field, legal and justice, or corporate training. Our claim, driving the creation of knowledge, reflects this matter. Named that, I would say the most important market sectors beside education are corporate and business, court and legal, and healthcare. Leading institutions, companies, courts, and universities around the world trust in us and our products. Quite interesting, we have also seen the last couple of months interest from more traditional sectors like textile manufacturing, for instance. Just because everyone was forced to stay at home in home office. And I believe that these experiences over the last couple of months will open up new opportunities for the future, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I can certainly vouch for that. Applications from, as you say, textile companies needing to show samples to manufacturing facilities in other parts of the world, right through to retail applications, construction as well, kind of the three that I've picked up on. So it's certainly an exciting time. So with so many kind of other technologies flooding the market since Wolfvision launched its first visualizer back in 1974, why do you think visualizers are still relevant? We all see technology in our daily lives at home. Our children are using technology, touchscreens, they're Zooming with their friends at the moment. What makes a visualizer relevant?
It's a very good question, and I believe that there are old wisdoms like seeing is believing, or a picture is worth 1,000 words, that are true. So a couple of years ago, we got mixed feedback from various customers about the future of the visualizer. They had doubts because there was a big transition going on from analog to digital forms of presentation. And one of the drivers were the newly arrived tablets, driving from the iPad, for instance. So customers told us they don't need the visualizer anymore, as everything will be presented in the future, and nowadays just digital and PowerPoint is their most important tool. But just because it's digital doesn't mean that it's automatically better. And based on our experiences that we have made over the last couple of years, and proved also from various studies, we see that the opposite happened. More and more people rediscover the power of live interaction with the audience to capture their interest and maintain audience attention. If you have a brilliant idea during a meeting, there is nothing more powerful than illustrating this idea with a quick sketch. If this is an average meeting room, I'm pretty sure there will be a pinboard or a whiteboard or a flip chart, something like that, which gives you this flexibility. And books like The Back of the Napkin strongly emphasize using these elements as a standard with any meeting to improve the output. And also a visualizer is a great way to share ideas and collaborate quickly if this is a physical meeting, but it's also a great tool to enhance an online meeting or a distance learning experience. A visualizer is so easy to use that when you're able to handle pen and paper, then you can also handle a visualizer and share your ideas and improve communication overall. So I think that's one of the main reasons why visualizers are still a vital tool in any meeting and learning experience.
Great, thank you. So obviously the last few months have been challenging for the world, for all of us in our personal and work lives. So how has COVID-19 affected you personally in the way you work, and what have you learned during that time?
What I've learned, that's a difficult question, as this situation has changed so many aspects of our or my daily life. But when it comes to business, I have learned that you have to expect the unexpected, and that means you never know when you're happy that you have prepared for the worst case. To give you an example, we are using Zoom in daily business since quite a while. It's in the meantime also integrated in the majority of our sign-up products. So we could easily move our dailies that we need to collaborate, our meetings, and turn them into Zoom meetings. So it was not a big impact on our daily business that everybody was moving into home office. But as a product manager, you need more than the typical face-to-face meeting. Just talking heads meeting is not good enough. I need to explain a lot, customer demands and problems, and this works best for me when I can show something. So I've been glad to have a variety of visualizers at home for testing and supporting our team, but this also helped me communicating with the team and the rest of the team in home office. And I was enhancing my web meetings by using the visualizer as a second camera, to use it as a flip chart, to sketch something on pen with pen and paper. And that helped me tremendously getting the message across. So that's a big learning. Because I had a few visualizers at home, I could also help out my wife, for instance, because she's a teacher in a primary school. And their annual reading day was canceled due to the current situation. So there was no physical reading day in school, but we turned this into an online event. So she was reading the books underneath the visualizer to their pupils, and pupils could experience this reading day at home in front of their computers. So it offered a lot of flexibility when you take a visualizer and consider the possibilities that you have. So even in home office or school, you need interaction, and a visualizer helps to improve these typical talking heads meetings. And that's by far one of the biggest learnings I've had.
Yeah, I can certainly appreciate. So my children have been at home for the past few months, and I've been attempting to homeschool them. And obviously, the school have kind of tried to ramp up their online learning provision. And actually, in that kind of age group, primary schools, they don't have as much infrastructure and experience as, say, university. So it's interesting, with something like a visualizer, which is intuitive. You can put physical objects, you can put a book, any content. In terms of ease of use and accessibility, I don't think there's any other technology on the market that can compete with that. So that's good.
We've also seen on social media and YouTube so many different examples where teachers were desperately looking for visualizers. Sometimes they build their own visualizers with smartphones on a wooden stand, but I'm pretty sure, well, they wanted to have a visualizer. Just it's easy and straightforward to use.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more relevant than ever. Okay, so have you kind of personally and through your role at Wolfvision, have you observed any changes in how customers are using our visualizers? Obviously, predominantly up until a few months ago, thousands of classrooms around the world have visualizers permanently installed, connected to a display or a projector, for example. What happened when the lockdown began and people had to move and work from home? What did you see?
We have seen some changes, and some were really significant to us. So far, the visualizer was for the majority of users seen as a live presentation aid in an auditorium, in a classroom, or in a meeting room. So image quality through the HDMI output was one of the most important things for our customers. On the other side, the USB interface was for most applications just a nice to have. And this has changed completely during home office and schooling. Universities, for example, gave away their visualizer to professors to make their classes and courses an online experience. And suddenly the USB connection to the computer became the most important thing. So from one day to another, customers appreciated that even their older Wolfvision devices were already equipped with UVC, which makes the integration of a visualizer into popular web meeting solutions like Zoom, Teams, and Hangouts, just to name a few, easy and straightforward. And we got a lot of positive feedback about the ease of use of a visualizer with these popular web meeting solutions. And another thing that we have noticed is that we are living in a world where people prefer consuming videos over reading manuals, for instance. And a visualizer is a very effective tool to produce video tutorials in high quality to support students, pupils, customers, and colleagues. So this was another significant change, that suddenly the existing visualizer were used to produce these tutorials because they were so important during home office and homeschool.
Yeah, great. Okay. So in terms of resources and the support we can offer as a company, how can we help customers that haven't started using their visualizers online yet? What support can we offer?
Yeah, when we realized that more and more questions about the integration of visualizers into web meetings popped up in our service and support departments around the world, we made a decision and started a broad range of webinars to give customers more insights about urgently needed information. I did also one to give customers few tips and tricks to enhance their web meetings and online classes by using a visualizer, and this was highly appreciated. They got new inspirations and ideas, but sometimes it also was just to find the right piece of information on our website or documentation. And I think the best help that we can offer beside comprehensive training of partners and customers is well-designed products which are simple to use, that are built to last and offer outstanding flexibility for many years of usage.
Great. And of course, if any customers out there are kind of using different, web platforms to collaborate, and they want advice about how they can integrate a visualizer, obviously you can talk to your regional account manager. You can come through support. And what's been really good with the webinar series is we've been quite agile. We've been able to adapt to the change in the market and kind of produce content that's relevant. So if you can think of a new application that we've not covered in the webinar series, by all means, get in touch with us and we can help produce that. Okay, so moving on, Thomas. So in terms of the future for visualizers, so we've kind of covered the history of Wolf Vision. We've looked at how the technology is more relevant than ever, how we've kind of moved people online in the past few months. What's new, and what can we look forward to in the future?
The latest addition to our product range is the new VCX UHD. With its comprehensive 4K UHD camera, this unit sets a benchmark when it comes to resolution, color reproduction, and picture quality. With the inbuilt touchscreen preview monitor, a new level of usability will be reached. The unit has also powerful streaming options inbuilt, so you can stream content up to 4K at 30 frames per second in reasonable bandwidth due to H.265 compression. So that's really state of the art. This makes the VCX UHD also a great extension to our Synapse Matrix system, so you get more flexibility beside the digital content that you can otherwise show. One of the best things is that this is just a start, because we are launching together with this VCX UHD a new mainboard generation. That means there will be much more features and more products to come on that mainboard generation. There is a lot of discussion about the future of networked AV. Probably you have been also already touching that sensitive topic. And there will be, without any doubts, more standards than HD-based-T, and we're going to launch a networked AV version of the VCX UHD to give customers more flexibility in their system design pretty soon. And my other baby, the vSolution Link Pro, we just released a new version of this comprehensive management tool. It's a powerful software that gives administrators and AV managers total control about their Wolf Vision equipment. So that means from checking the system health to control of units up to remote maintenance and firmware updates. This free software offers a lot. The latest update has some quite cool features, like the easy replacement of Synapse in an installation for a repair, for example. So with this new box replacement feature, you can exchange a Synapse, including its settings and feature packs, easily to replace a broken box without any hassle. Another feature worth to mention is the flexibility of changing the device discovery algorithm on Synapse to make the installation future-proof when it comes to the maximum number of units in your network. With the next firmware update of Synapse, this new device discovery comes on every Synapse, and the vSolution Link Pro is already prepared for that. So what else can customers expect from Wolf Vision in the future? I would say outstanding visualizers that deliver leading image quality, having more flexibility due to the new networked AV options. And beside that, our units are built to last, of course. And of course, you will get from us matching software that will ensure you can get the maximum out of your investment, no matter if this is for the management of the products that you have in your network, or to open up the flexibility during the presentation of the customers.
Great, thank you. So finally then, Thomas, so if customers out there or our integration partners want to find out more about a visualizer product range, where should they go and what can they find there?
That's a good question, as right now the majority of us is still at home and sometimes it's not that easy to find the right information online. So a good starting point is our website, wolfvision.com. In the support section, you can select a product of your choice and you will get all necessary information, even for discontinued models. You will find documentation, you can download software and so on. Another valuable channel that I want to highlight is the Wolf Vision profile on LinkedIn. Here you will get latest information about new installations and references around the world. You will get updates for product firmware and software, and you will be, of course, informed if we have new video tutorials on YouTube available. So just follow us on LinkedIn and you never miss an update again. On my personal LinkedIn profile, you will also find the presentations I did over the last couple of weeks and the videos about how a visualizer can be used to enhance online learning and web meetings. Just check it out. And of course, like you mentioned before, Johnathan, you can contact your local Wolf Vision partner, local Wolf Vision sales to get more specific information. This was also working very, very good during the home office, so we never had to make compromises when it comes to the service and support level, even though the majority of our team was stuck in home office.
Excellent. Thomas, thanks for answering the questions. Thanks for joining me. Everyone at the Virtual Collaboration Experience event, I hope you've enjoyed this session and I hope the rest of the event is worthwhile.